Can you hear me now? I think we have the audio fixed. Let me know in the chat, please. Thank goodness. Thanks for letting me know. I think I had all the technical difficulties today trying to start the stream. The camera wouldn't stream, and now I guess the audio wasn't streaming. Everything went crazy. So, all right. Glad you can hear me now. I'll just catch everybody up. Doing Bb-8 today. I'm going to start with some dark black pencil, and then we'll jump in with some markers and try to bring it to life with some detail. If you have any questions about the technique or the process or the tools, or just want to chat Star Wars characters, please do so in the chat, and we'll have a good time. All right, so I'm kind of working on some of the decorations or details on Bb-8 right now. And I normally do all these drawings in black and white or grayscale, but I think because Bb-8 has just a few little orange spots on him, that I'm going to maybe grab an orange marker later, and we'll see if we can't put a little more fun and detail into it with that. And I know the lighting isn't the best. Hopefully I'll be able to upgrade my lighting as we go along here. Try to make it better so that we don't get these shadows from my hand as bad in the future. Alright, so we'll just rough in some of these details. And these circular shapes, you know, they can be a little bit challenging, but I find if I just take my time and maybe do 2 or 3 or 4 strokes, then we can get a pretty decent looking circle, even if it's not exactly perfect every time. And it's a little more handmade than getting out a circle template or a compass or something. And I think today we're going to start with Bb-8 and then probably do a Luke Skywalker, and then we'll see how the time is going, and maybe squeeze one more in after that. This first one should be sort of quick, so I think we'll have time. So once we get all the little pencil details put in, it's more of just like an outline or a rough than it is trying to be perfection. And then we can get in and use our brush pens and markers and start to paint in the shading and the detail and everything. Just try to keep it loose and fun. I kind of feel like if you're having fun with the drawing or putting a certain amount of energy into a drawing, it can be felt, you know, like the end person who has it in their house or sees it, they can feel that good vibe. So it's important. Let's see. So the question is about the size of the sketch. So these are 9 by 12 is the size it is. I know I said 8 by 10 on my original Facebook post, but that's just because I was not paying attention, wasn't thinking about it. But yeah, it's 9 by 12. I could probably do a 12 by 12. I think shipping gets a little tricky the bigger we go, but I certainly wouldn't be against it if you've got a certain composition in mind or sketch or something. I will say that right now getting any kind of supplies is a bit of a hassle, so that might be the only thing that would stop me from changing sizes immediately. But I've got a good stock of 9 by 12 Bristol artboard, so yeah, I'd be open to it. how did my Hot Wheels collaboration come to be? That's a good question. So the first thing you have to know about me is that I like never seek these things out. I'm usually, I wouldn't say I'm too lazy to do it, but I tend to keep myself very busy with work. I'm kind of a workaholic when it comes to art, and so I just kind of make my art, and I figure if I like it, other people will like it. And that's sort of what happened with the Hot Wheels situation. About 2.5 years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, I met this really nice guy, Jimmy, from Mattel, and he was telling me what a fan he was of some of my Star Wars propaganda artwork, and I like cars and Hot Wheels, and we were talking, and I didn't really think too much of it, but after the convention, he asked if maybe I'd be interested in doing something for them, and we talked about it, but in the end, the decision was to just use some of the existing propaganda art that I had done. And so, you know, a lot of those things are just talk at conventions. There's a lot of talk that happens, so I didn't get too worked up about it or anything. But at San Diego Comic-Con 2019, Jimmy showed up and he had 5 prototype cars to give me. And so I had known they were going to put some art on packaging, but I had no idea that there was going to be artwork on the cars themselves. And so I got to see him, and I like the inner 5-year-old. I mean, I was so excited. I mean, you know, every kid played with Hot Wheels. So yeah, it was just kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't call it luck, but just because I have so many fans and followers in so many different places, he just happened to be one, and it all worked out. And the good news of that story is that, you know, it was 5 cars in the set, and I think they told me it's the fastest time they've ever had a multiple car set sell out. So good news for Hot Wheels and Lucasfilm for sure. And it was fun, and hopefully I'll get to do more. Oh, well, thank you, Lurkley, for buying art from me at Comic-Con. Obviously, we don't know if we're going to have Comic-Con this year or not, but if so, I will be there. Hopefully have some new stuff to show. Working on some Star Wars Celebration artwork right now, but if, you know, kind of like everything else, we don't really know what's going to happen yet. Oh, you haven't been able to find the Darth Vader van. Yeah, I kind of think that one in the Boba Fett is the hardest to find. I don't think I have any extras, but maybe now's the time to hit eBay and look for that before the last of them are gone. I see people will find them in like weird places like the grocery store, or I can't even think of some of those places people have told me they found them, but they do turn up once in a while. But the Vader van is by far, as far as the vehicles go, it's I think it's one of the coolest looking vehicles. But I think everybody was surprised. They kind of all knew the Vader and the Boba Fett were going to sell, but I don't think they counted on the other 3 selling out as fast as they did. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I'm used to having my artwork sell out, but never doing a Hot Wheels before. I didn't realize how crazy the fan base was for Hot Wheels, and it's like a feeding frenzy. Oh, you found them at Michael's. See? Yeah, you never know where you're going to find that stuff at. It's kind of crazy. I think even when other people were finding them, I hadn't found them yet. I mean, I had the prototypes, but it took me quite a while to track them down. We got a few of them before Christmas, I think. Maybe I have like either a set and a half or 2 sets of them, I think. But not a lot. Not a lot. I'd be careful with this Bb-8 drawing because he's got some of these really dark areas on him, but then he's got some other areas they're a little lighter. So I talked about doing some of this in orange, but I think we may be beyond that part. But that's all right. This drawing's part of a 2-drawing set, and that person may not want one of them to be black and white and one of them not, so it might be for the best. part of the trick is just to try to use these thick, thin lines and get a nice flow on some of these curves. Because, like the slower you move your hand, the more it kind of wiggles in the paper. So you have to sort of be kind of fast and fluid and bold with it, or it can look kind of squiggly. At least when I draw it, that's what happens. Long question. So the question's mostly about the Star Wars Celebration, what happens. So yeah, I mean, all my artwork, all the prints that are released, it's all officially licensed and approved by Lucasfilm. And that usually comes through a gallery. And so they're the ones that are dealing with Lucasfilm, not me. I mean, I get the feedback and stuff, but normally I just draw what I want to draw, and hopefully they like it. But yeah, if Star Wars Celebration doesn't happen, obviously, I mean, none of us want to think about that, but I would imagine that artwork that had been created and approved would get released through the galleries. So, my artwork would be released through like Dark Ink Art or Acme probably, and some of the other artists have deals with different galleries and different licensees. So that's probably what would happen. But for now, let's hope that all the smart scientists and doctors come up with a treatment or a cure or some way to beat this thing, so that we can try to have a little bit more joy and happiness in our lives coming up. Do you already have your tickets for Star Wars Celebration? That's always the trick for creators. What program do I use for digital drawings? So for most of the Star Wars, like the propaganda art that you see released, they all start out as like pencil drawings like this, but even like more loose and rough, really, really rough. I don't like to put, I put a lot of thought into them, but I don't like to spend a bunch of time on my concept art, because I think it should be like, if Lucasfilm and whoever's looking at it can't get what I'm trying to say like in a really simple blocked out format, then it's probably not worth doing. So I'll do like a real simple pencil drawing, and then once that's approved, I tend to take it into my iPad, and I like an application called Adobe Draw. And the cool thing about that is I can only draw or erase. I can't really manipulate the vectors or anything like that like you can in some applications. So it really keeps me honest. I'm just drawing or erasing. I'm not, because with these software you can just tweak things to where it becomes stiff, and it becomes, more surreal, more real than real. You've seen the kind of art I'm talking about, I'm sure. And so with Adobe Draw, I can only paint or erase. And so I'll do it in there with like on the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, and then from there I can export that out to Adobe Photoshop, where I can tweak out the text and any sort of texture patterns I need for the silk screen. So it's kind of a two-step process. The actual drawing is on the iPad, and then like the final color separation and composition work is in Photoshop. Adobe's kind of in the process of retiring that Adobe Draw software that I like so well, and they're trying to get all of us to use Sketch, or not Sketch, what's it called? What's that new Adobe software called? I'll think of it eventually, but it's okay. I don't think I like it as well. It's got some neat texture brushes and stuff in it, but it feels like they try to take like a desktop paradigm and make it work for the iPad, and it doesn't really feel like it was built to be touch first. It feels like it was built to work with like a keyboard and mouse or something. I don't know. It's not bad software. It's just not as intuitive. And like the way the pen, the way Apple, the Apple Pencil, the way it draws and stuff, it's just, I don't know. It's just different. It doesn't feel as natural. So I hope that I don't get orphaned where I have to either migrate to that or choose something else, but we'll see. I mean, I've used Procreate for a lot of like paint type work and color type work, so if I had to, I could do that, but I'm really happy with Adobe Draw and like every Star Wars poster and Simpsons poster and all that I've ever done has all been done on there, so yeah, I'm really comfortable with it and I like the way the tools work. Hopefully that long-winded answer was satisfactory. Yeah, you're asking about Star Wars Celebration. I've got like a couple, well, not even just Celebration, like before everything closed down, I had 2 or 3 Star Wars illustrations that were kind of like right on the verge of being ready to be released, so who knows when that will be now. But in the meantime, I am more than happy to get sketch commissions and stay busy and jump online and draw with you guys as many days a week as I can. And it's good for me too, because it forces me to socialize with somebody, even if it's virtually, and it'll give me a chance to sharpen my traditional art skills that I don't get to use as much as I used to. So hopefully these little sketches will just start getting, I don't know about more involved, but I'll get more comfortable doing them live and chatting with you, and I'll just get better and better. That's the plan anyway. We'll see what happens. So let's see. So Lurkley, which items did you buy from me at Comic-Con? Were they Star Wars pieces or a mix of things? I've been doing so much Simpsons stuff lately. I don't know that I ever thought that I would do anything like that. It's so kind of cartoonish, but I've really been having fun with it. And so I did a baseball piece with Homer called Homer at the Bat. It's kind of based on that episode a little bit, and it was all ready. It's released, but it was all ready for spring training, and obviously that didn't happen. We can let that just be marker. Well, I think we've almost got all the little black outlines done here, so once we get that going, I can bust out the markers and we can start doing some shading. Alright, so there's our rough outline. Got that going. How's the weather where you guys are? It's starting to get warm here in Arizona. We're like in the 80s now, I think. Yeah, it's crazy. I wasn't ready for that. Alright, so let's start with our 20% gray. So here is 20% gray. And we'll just do just some loose shading on Bb-8 here, make him look a little more spherical. Probably maybe right around here. Just come through. "57 degrees in Maryland, huh? Yikes. Well, that seems pretty nice. I would be down with 57 degrees. here if the weather is going to help everybody stay inside or make them want to get out more. I hope everyone does the smart thing and chooses to stay inside. Mid-60s. Oh, San Antonio. You guys had the Riverwalk there, right? I've been there one time for a big conference. I loved it. It was really pretty. Going down the Riverwalk, and I think there's like lots of restaurants and bars and stuff. And as a matter of fact, I think I was with Lucasfilm people on that trip, and that was a real good time. So I try to be kind of bold with my sketches and just paint with the markers and that sort of thing. I don't really like being wimpy with art, but at the same time, I'm not one to like plan it all out and make it stiff. So I kind of just make up the amount of stuff I want to do as I go, and then just see how it works out. I think we might want a little shadow here under A2. Yeah, that might look good. All right, I think let's use this 40% black. It is 40. Wow, from Arizona and Maryland, that's quite the contrast in temperatures to go back and forth from. It was in Maryland once. I had an international flight delay, and so we spent like 4 days in Maryland waiting for the new flight to leave out of Washington and DC. And it was pretty. We went to the aquarium and walked around Little Italy. It was a good time. So if you were going to have me sketch something for you, what character would you be most interested in? I've been trying to figure out what everybody likes. I got lots of requests in the queue, but I'll probably be opening up the sketch commission list again tomorrow on my Facebook page. So if you want one, definitely hop on. I usually it's the first 10 to 12 people that jump in. I try not to take too many at once because I want to make sure I can get it done the following week so that people aren't waiting too long on me. I have to squeeze in some other projects too that I'm working on, so just try to do what I can. Military life, huh? Which branch are you in? See, if I knew Arizona is Air Force, but I don't know about Maryland, so I would guess like Navy or something with Maryland, but who knows? All right, little BB starting to come together there. This is one of those characters that is simple yet very complicated because these side panels, every one of them is different. So you have to pay attention to like how he's oriented to get him right. Love and hate the cold. I don't think I could ever do winter again, let me tell you. So many years in the desert, and I don't know that I could ever. I would like to see snow or something or go visit it, but I don't think I could live through a whole winter. It might destroy me. I need a tauntaun to keep me warm. All right. So let's grab some jet black. Jet black. Hope you can see that. Air Force, wow. Very cool. See, it tells you I just don't know anything. Who knew that Maryland had an Air Force base? Clearly everyone but me knew. So can I ask what you did in the Air Force? Because I'm sure everyone says, oh, were you a pilot? But I would imagine it's a very small percentage of people who are pilots. There's probably a lot of other jobs besides pilot. Oh, you messaged about Ahsoka. We'll definitely get in there tomorrow because I'd like to do an Ahsoka. That would be a lot of fun. And I was surprised that no one wanted Baby Yoda right off the bat, but I think I've got one that they say they're going to jump in the queue tomorrow. We'll see. And the good news is I was having trouble getting art supplies, but I've got a new shipment coming in Saturday, so that'll make things easier and give me a chance to do a little bit more detail and stuff moving forward too. So definitely jump on the list. Chewbacca and Bb-8. Yeah, those are good characters. I love Chewie. That fur can be kind of take a while to draw, but it's worth it. It turns out really good. I don't know. Did you see this Chewie yesterday? Check this out. So he makes faces. Arr. I can't do the Chewie sound. Sorry. We'll leave him happy for now. He was upset earlier because we were having so many technical problems trying to get the stream going. Oh, you were intelligence in the Air Force. Well, that sounds very cool and Cloak and Dagger and James Bondy. So much respect. Yes, definitely rewatch all the Star Wars movies while you're stuck inside. That's a good thing to do. I'm gonna catch up on the new season of Rebels. No, Rebels, Clone Wars, Clone Wars. I might even rewatch Resistance. I like that one a lot. And then I always watch the films at least once a year anyway, but now's a good time to rewatch them all. I've got some ideas to do some art for the prequels, which I've never really done much. But I think enough time's passed that there's some things I want to do, so maybe I'll work on that, and when Lucasfilm and everybody comes back online, I'll have some things ready to show them. Like, whether you like the prequels or not, who's your favorite prequel character? I don't know if you guys can hear that on the cam, but my next door neighbor comes out and does his leaf blower every day. I don't know if he's just bored. And he did it before the lockdown. So, I don't know. I guess his yard, it must look really nice. Because he does his leaf blower every day. Maybe that's how he gets his exercise. I don't know. I know a lot of my neighbors, but I don't know this one. He's a little standoffish. A white robe Ahsoka. Well, sure, of course, yeah. I can do that. Yeah, sometimes doing some of the variations can be fun. I think we're getting pretty close on BB-8 here, and then I think we'll do a Luke Skywalker next. I'm not sure, but tomorrow I might have like a Yoda. I think I have 2 different Yodas to do. I think one is like one is a Yoda lifting the X-Wing out of the swamp, and so that'll be really fun. We'll do that for sure. The other one's a little more elaborate. It's like a Yoda and Luke. They went in by a tree, and I thought, oh well, the tree from the new films, the Jedi tree, that would be really cool. But they didn't want that. They wanted young Luke, so I think we're gonna do like a swamp tree. So it'd be like Yoda and Luke together with like a swampy Dagobah tree. So that one will be more elaborate. That may take up like a whole stream on its own. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's see about maybe just a few, what kind of interesting details we can do to this one here. Let's see, so this is a white gel pen. I don't think you can read it, but it says Jelly Roll. And it's pretty cool because you can go in and do some like little white detail lines and stuff with it. So get a few little of those details on BB-8 here. Sometimes it was Cloak and Dagger. Oh, I like to hear that. Well, if we find ourselves at a Star Wars celebration or convention together sometime, you'll have to come out with us after the con one night, and you can regale us in your stories of real life adventure. So can you guys hear the leaf blower? Or does it not make it to the mic? I don't know. I'm sure you can hear that. What else do we want to do to him here? Got just a couple of other little details to put in. I want to give him a little bit of shape. I'm a fan of like the flat look, but I think just giving him a little bit of form would help. Maybe we'll grab that 20 again and a little shading on the head. We use the 40, I think. You can hear the leaf blower a little bit, yeah. I mean, it's not super annoying. It's just funny that he does it every day. But it's usually if I want to stream or be on a phone call or a meeting with a client or something. It's like right when he starts, so it's just funny timing. Yeah, he's looking pretty cute. All right. You can hear it, yeah. And I don't know, I mean, I don't even know how much cleaning you can do with the leaf blower on like 1,000%. It's just like, wah, wah, wah. All right, there we go. BB-8. Yeah, it's not too bad. Of course, as soon as I think I'm done, see, this is what happens when you're an artist. You see something you want to change. So let's, you know, this is for somebody. You want to make sure they're happy with it. Might as well do it right. Much better. All right. So BB-8, he's done. Yeah, and I think let's do a Luke Skywalker. Favorite prequel characters: Qui-Gon and Darth Maul. Yeah, Qui-Gon is such a good character. It's a shame he couldn't have stuck around for some more movies, or you know, make a cameo in Rogue One or something as like a Force ghost. Or do we need prequels to the prequels now? So we can do like Qui-Gon's origin film or something. All right, so say goodbye to BB-8. We're ready to start on Luke. Oh. All right, so the request was for Luke in his Hoth winter gear, but also holding a lightsaber. So that's what we're gonna do. Maybe I can start like an ASMR channel and I can just